I'm just getting a world map open.
My name is Angela. Hey, hello.
Boom. Okay. Is this gonna work? It is working. There you go. I thought I was gonna do the different screen. Okay, so.
Less than 3, lovely to see you. Hope life treats you well.
We're inside. Thank you so much for 31 months. Yeah, it's great being back, honestly. Song about airports? I think I did that on stream once as a joke. Didn't really work though. Okay. Let's start from the beginning. You guys ready, by the way? You guys ready to hear about my amazing trip? Let's get a trip to MN. MN. One of my recent tooth filling broke. The hotel didn't have a room ready for 2 hours past when they said they would. The fire alarm went off and we had to evacuate. The airport had security alarm go off and those people were being moved to our location and they didn't have a car, the rental company. This sounds like my trip, dude. Not as bad though, Jesus, horrible. Christ almighty. Hey P, how you doing? Ready? Alright. PG leave almost about 28 months. Angel Healer, hope you've been good. This guy's back. That's right. Hope you've been well.
I'm ready.
So we start here, I think, in British Columbia, and then I took a flight, and then I took another flight, and then I went somewhere here. I don't remember exactly where, but this is where, you know, Quebec, I think, where my parents live, and I stayed there. I'm gonna put some chiller music for this. I'm gonna put some low key, some nice beats. There we go. Yeah, we're going through my trip. So I stayed here for a week. 1 week. Oh my god, I can't. A week. Yeah. And I visited my mom and my dad and my, you know, seeing some family and stuff. It was very nice. Met with a friend, you know. And then after that... Wait. No, I went to Nova Scotia. And then from there I went all the way to the UK. Boom, in Gatwick. And then there I was recognized by my first viewer in real life. I was wearing my mask. I'll even pull up the tweet. I'll pull up the tweet for those that haven't seen it. I'm very happy with that. Check this out. Boom. First person I've ever met in real life. He was like, I went up to him. And I was like, sorry, do you know where the Norwegian airline is? And he's like, sorry. He's like a bit like, are you Flash? And I was like, no fucking way. I couldn't believe it. Didn't visit Orca. And I couldn't leave the airport. I didn't have time. But I did ask her if she wanted to meet up. But it was like a huge trip for her. Not worth. I'm nowhere near Gatwick though. Yeah, it would have been. It was just so unpredictable. If I knew for sure, I would have been there for hours. I would have loved to do something, but it was one of those like every airport was like, be here in advance because you might like have a shit ton of security to do. You know. So yeah, I got to meet. It was really cool. I was like, made my day. It was awesome. And then after that, I went from the UK to Sweden. Boom. I landed in the airport. All is well. The way there was pretty smooth. I was very I mean, it's a rough flight from here to here to here. It's like, you know, maybe 15 hours of flight, right? You know, starting from Quebec or Ottawa. Then I land there. I get to the house. I meet everyone. Very nice. It was very, very cool to see everyone. I was tired as fuck, so I went to bed early. And then the next morning, Tio wakes me up and he's like, "Oh, just to fix your sleep schedule, we'll wake you up early." I was like, oh, "Okay." So I spend the week there, and I get to meet a shit ton of people. Pip comes in with 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna do that while I explain the stuff. So I get to meet so many people. I got to see Yomo again. I saw Yomo like 4 years ago. Got to see him again. It was really cool because he was there. Got to meet Sammy. Got to meet Patty because I haven't met those guys before. I met a bunch of other people too. I met Bully. I met Carrie, and Rai or Hannes. You know, it was really cool to meet them all. All lovely people too. We did the mukbang for those that were wondering. And then I got COVID. Oh no. How many were there? We were like around like 15 at one point, you know. But yeah, I got COVID, unfortunately. So I had to delay my flight. So I was supposed to leave on the Sunday or some shit like that. And the best flight was Friday after. So what was gonna happen here? So my original, oh shit.
My name is Angela.
Sorry.
Hey, hello.
Okay. So what was supposed to happen was I was supposed to leave from Sweden, go to Amsterdam.
We are all here
Wait.
for the new airport story.
Yeah, Amsterdam, and then go to all the way to Vancouver, and then go to my island. So it's gonna be this one was gonna be 10 hours.
The king has returned.
That's me, baby. How you doing, Orca? And Pablo, I think it's 36 months. You're crazy. Really appreciate it. So this was my original flight. So this was it. But instead now, it was going to be... I'll just do it in a different color. I make it color-coded. There we go. I'm going to do a little blue. This is a new one. So Sweden, all the way to New York, to Calgary, and then home. So this was my new destination. So I spent so I was like, okay, fine. That's okay. I'll do the blue one. You know, whatever. It'll be less of a treacherous. Like instead, it's going to be like 8 hours. You know, so that's fine. Whatever. Were you badly sick with COVID? It was okay. It was fine. It was like just mild. I am vaccinated after all. I'm from NYC. Dog shit place. Hated it. Sucked balls. So I'll explain. So what happens then? We'll make a new one. What ended up happening? I'll make it in a pink, bright pink. Was that? So you know, I ended up staying a few extra days. It was very fun. I was able to hang out more and visit Stockholm more. It was very good trip, incredible. And then I went from Sweden and I arrive at the airport and they tell me my flight's delayed 3 hours. They tell me my flight's delayed 3 hours. I'm already 3 hours in advance of the airport on a 21-hour long trip. And they tell me that I have to wait 6 hours for my next flight. And I'm like, great. Then I just go sit down. I look at my phone and realize I'm not going to catch my flight, the blue one. I'm not going to catch the flight in New York. This one. Which means, what do I do? So I wait for a bit. And then they tell me that they just reschedule my flight. So basically, I go here to New York. And what they rescheduled me with was a flight the next day to Atlanta. And then Calgary. And then home. So I just got an extra day added to my trip. And I'm like, bro, this is shit. So I go from the JFK airport. I get a cab. And right off the bat, the cab's like, where are you going? I'm like... I'm going to the hotel was called Rockaway's Inn. It's an inn. The word inn means... Can I get an answer? Inn is a place where you stay. It's like a hotel, right? Am I right saying that an inn is where you stay, right? An establishment providing food. Into pretty much a hotel. Yeah. So I said the Rockaway Inn. That's where I'm going. And he's like, what is that? What is that? I'm like, he's like, is it a hotel? He's like really mad. Rockaway the beach. Yeah, it was near the beach. So when I first learned about my having to stay overnight in New York, I was like, I never planned to visit New York, but I'll get a nice hotel, gonna order some food. It'll be very nice. What I didn't realize was JFK Airport's in Queens. And Queens, as I got to see, wasn't the greatest area. The dude was mad about your journey too. So the guy,
welcome back.
It's pretty whack, like you would say. So he has a pretty thick accent, which isn't a problem. But on top of the fact that apparently New York taxis get assaulted, which I understand now why, because they're fucking assholes. They have like a big plexiglass behind, like, you know, behind them, so you don't punch them in the back of the head, which I wanted to do. And he has a mic, like there's a speaker in which he has a microphone and he can speak to you. And he kept, so basically he was, you know, so he talked to me and just be like, and I'm like, what?
We want to go to the right?
And I'm, you know, so shit like that. So they're assholes because they get assaulted. Okay. So yeah, he's already pissed off. It's like a cop car. Yeah. So he gets me to my hotel, and like 90% of the way there, he's like, by the way,
my debit machine don't work. My debit machine don't work.
I wasn't planning to stay in the US, so I don't have cash on me. I was planning to pay with my credit card. And I'm like, I don't have cash on me. He's like, okay, well, let's stop at this ATM. I'm like, oh my God. So I get out, try an ATM, doesn't work. He stops me at a different ATM. I try it, doesn't work. There's one across the street. I go, doesn't work. I'm like, man, it doesn't work. My bank won't let me. What do you want to do? He's like, well, what do you want to do? Like, he's all pissed, right? As if it's my fault. And I'm like, well, I would have liked to know that the machine didn't work before I went in your car. Like, that's kind of something you have to tell people, because not everyone carries cash, right? And he's just like, just get in the car. Like, all pissed. I was like, oh my God. I was like scared. I'm in a neighborhood I don't know, in the country I don't know, and a dude that's like aggressive. He's like sighing the whole way through. You just be driving and it's like, I kept hearing him sigh in the microphone, and he honked like 20 times. No, realistically, he honked at least 7 times, which doesn't sound like a lot, but bro, what the fuck is going on in New York, man? So he drops me off. He's like,
all right, just try the machine in the back. Just try it. Just try it anyways.
And I'm like, okay. And he's like,
don't add a tip because it'll fuck with my machine.
But he said it, and I didn't understand what he was saying because it was very like muffled. So I added a tip because I felt bad. And he's like,
I told you not to add a tip. I told you not to add it.
And he started screaming at me, and I'm like, why are you freaking out so much, dog? What's the stakes here? Christ almighty. Sorry I wasted 4 seconds of your time. And you know, I put the card in and it works. So what's the problem here? Anyways, get into the hotel. I'm like about to have a panic attack of this because of this guy. Oh yeah, he told me to just get the fuck out of his car. You know, I take my luggage, he fucking drives off. I'm like, oh my God. And I go to the hotel and he's like, all right, this is your reservation. Okay, by the way, we need a $100 deposit. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. And he's like, and it's cash only. There's an ATM right here if you'd like to use it. I was about to just off myself. I was like, I don't have cash on me, man. Like, I'm a tourist. He's like, okay, it's fine. We'll figure it out. And he figured it out. I go to my room, have a breakdown. I cry a little bit. I'm like, oh, this is like the worst. Like, you know, I just extended my trip by a full day. You know, like, it was horrible. And then I'm like, I'm just gonna order some food. And then I order food, and I'm like, is there water? Like, I'm like dehydrated. I'm like, I need water. I look into the fridge. There's nothing. I'm like, why is there no water in this fucking fridge? God fucking damn it. I look up Queen's water. Queen's water drinkable? And it's like, it's legal. The water is legal. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? So I didn't drink it. And then I go down to the lobby. All the machines don't work. I'm like, what do I do to get a water bottle around here, man? In a hotel. So I just go outside. There's the DoorDash guy's there. He's like, I got your order. I'm like, thank you. Wrong order. Of course it's the wrong fucking order, dude. And I have to go walk out in the streets. And I find this restaurant. It's like African food and Italian food restaurant. Weird mix of restaurants to have together. And so I just walking and it's blasting fucking music. Like, and then there's this guy, like literally the most stereotypical Rasta guy with like the Rasta hat and the dreads, just like, and laughing. And it was hazy in there, so I think there was smoking. I don't know what was going on. So I just gave him my card, and in the U.S., you know, and for those that live in the U.S., this might not be weird to you, but for me, it's weird as fuck that I asked to buy 2 bottles of water, and I give him my card, and he's just like, imagine this is my card here, and he's like, okay, and he just goes in the back with it. He just took my card, which is weird. Usually, you tap it yourself. Anyways, freaked me out. He gave me my card. That was good. Woke up next day. Got an Uber that time. Very nice guy. He had a chicken side business. He sold eggs. You know, whatever. Yeah, I don't like the fact that they took my card. I was like, what the fuck? It turns out that's an American thing. Yeah, so this was my NYC experience. Yeah, so it was like, what? Go to the airport. You know, it's so lengthy because it's the US. They're like, take off your shoes because we had a shoe bomb one time. And this was NYC. Yeah, this dog shit. Fucking horrible fucking shit, man. Can this find side business? He worked remotely and operated a business in Africa where they had chickens and he sold like their eggs. And it was going really well for him, so whatever.
My name is
So I go to the airport and then I'm waiting for my fucking flight. And I think that one went well. Yeah, that one went well. All fine. I'm in Atlanta. I go to my
I
gate.
missed you.
I had to go directly. So I was like, go into my gate and I sit down and they're like, sorry, we overbooked our flight. We're gonna need 10 volunteers to take a different flight at a later time. Thank you so much. And it's like, bro, is this an American thing? Like, I've never had a flight be overbooked. Anyways, waited like 40 minutes. And like they're like doing biddings, like, oh, we need 5 more people for $500 to the one in the back. Stupid shit. So yeah, and then I did the rest of my trip. It was just fucking horrible. I was just so tired, man. And I finally get home, and I see Caitlin. I'm like, oh baby, I love you. I missed you. And I go to the luggage drop area, and I'm like, Caitlin, you won't believe, like, everything that happened just kept getting worse and worse, and it was just horrible. And then as I said that, the guy that works there is like, all right, that's all for the luggage, and my luggage wasn't there. I'm like, of course it had to be me. So that was a week ago, and I got it yesterday. I got it took a week for my luggage to get home. And what was really stressful about it was that I bought a $3,000 camera, like I told you guys I would, in Sweden, and it was in my suitcase. But the good news, we got it, baby. And it's functional. It's not broken. It's a Sony a7 III. I was gonna use it today, but turns out I'm missing a piece. So, any compensation? I haven't checked yet. My mom said she'll do it for me, but I'm like, you really don't have to. I'm like, I'm just glad to be home. She's very helpful like that, and I was like, you really don't have to do it, Mom. Like, I'll be fine. So funny enough, the lines weren't the worst thing about this trip. But yeah, so I'm gonna be sending this as my new webcam, and you know, for vlog stuff, for videos and stuff like that. Very good camera. Very excited for it. Yeah, if companies overbooking, surviving NYC was your compensation. Yeah, I don't know how I made it out of there, man. Yeah, the worst part of my trip was entering the US. Crazy, man. Can I have a share on of this story? Maybe not. I've got something coming. I might have something coming. Might have a little merch here, merch there. Who knows? The worst part is entering US. Fair. Well, yeah, that was my trip. But I mean, as much as I was bitching about the thing, being in Sweden was incredible. It was really nice. Got to meet so many people and actually, like, because I was there for like 2 days last time I was there. And I got to actually really soak it in and like really talk to everyone and really, And I made a point to do that. I'm not a super talkative. I mean, not talkative, but I mean, I'm not a super social person. But I really made a point to talk to everyone, and I met great people. So overall, great trip.